We'll get this one of these tries
Just say
for sure.
that you hired a stranger off the street, and that's who I am.
Yeah. Some stranger has joined us. Merry Krombu Weebs, my name's Mike, his name's Jay, we like anime, and this is episode 41 of the Anime Protagonist podcast. We are joined today by Shazayna from the Discord. Zayna, do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, hi.
Today we are going to be talking One Piece. Since Cole is still at the bottom of his pit, he will not be joining us today. So we're going to basically talk about One Piece, about arcs that we like, all sorts of things like that. I am trying my best to host this right now, but I think I will give over the reins to Jay and ask Jay, what's on your mind?
Man, you did a really good job. What is on my mind? I started reading a new manga, and I finished a new manga today. It's a manga by Horikoshi. You probably know him as the creator of My Hero Academia, and I was reading Barrage.
I do.
Okay. Jeff Thu of Mother's Basement did a video recently on the Shonen Jump anime or manga that got canceled, and I
saw that one actually. I almost watched it and I didn't.
It was pretty good though, and he included Barrage and said it was really good, and that it's a shame that it got canceled. So I thought, I'll check it out. I have the Jump app, so I did, and honestly, it's better than My Hero Academia, guys.
Oh, that's a hot take.
Very hot take.
I'm like, it's 16 chapters, so I mean, like, it didn't really get enough time to actually get off the ground, but from what I could see where it was going, I wish that that's the manga Horikoshi got to write instead of My Hero Academia.
Oh. So like, what makes it better in your opinion then?
I just think like the themes, the characters, and all of that just like really resonated with me a lot more than My Hero Academia. And you know, I think that the villains in My Hero Academia are kind of flat, whereas this kind of felt interesting. I do understand why it was dropped, because at the time when this manga was in Jump, there were so many adventure manga that it just kind of got lost in the shuffle. But
gotcha.
Honestly, if it were to be released nowadays, it would probably be a long-running series. So,
yeah, you think so? Did it come out before My Hero Academia?
So this came out 2012. My Hero Academia started in 2014. So 2 years before.
Oh, okay.
But it was really good, and honestly, I'm very upset that it was only 14 chapters because it had a lot of potential.
Yeah, and he's obviously not going to revisit it anytime soon either. So it's like,
I mean, he's already working on My Hero Academia, and I'm sure once that's done, he's going to work on something completely different, if not just outright retire. So
who knows? Mangaka are like a different breed.
Speaking of things that are a different breed, Zayna, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind? Well, I guess I don't even know.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
This is so difficult.
Especially because they put you on the spot right away.
No.
Eh? Yeah.
What is on my mind? Well, I caught up to Made in Abyss season 2, and that was very deep, very emotional. It's just too hard to explain.
It's very disturbing.
It is. It's disturbing. Yeah. It's heart-wrenching. It's so good, but it's so sad.
There's so many things in it where it's just like you're watching
it, and then you're just like, how can it get any worse? And then it gets worse. It gets so much worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what's been on my mind since yesterday.
It's like
really.
it's like the Murphy's Law of anime. If something could go wrong, it does.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, as soon as say you're watching it and then 2 minutes goes by, you're like, what just happened? How did this happen?
Have there been times where like an episode finished and you're just sitting there like looking at your screen going, what did I just watch?
It's so many times. Like every time the episode ends, my mouth, like my jaw is on the floor. I'm like, how? Well, you're just going to leave me at this peak moment and not show me anything else?
Yeah. For the listeners, Zayna is my wife, and so I get to watch her sit there with her jaw on the floor, and I can confirm, like, she'll just sit there and just be like, what just happened?
Yeah.
What did I just watch?
And then I have to just sit there and stew and think about what I just watched, and it's It's very hard, especially with that anime.
You sit there in stew?
No, I sit there and stew. Not
Oh,
in,
and stew.
not in
stew.
stew. Just in a big pot.
Just in a huge pot.
Yeah.
Just like some poor children in a pot.
Please, sir, can I have some more?
Yeah. Except it's just depression that they're giving you.
Yeah.
Depression and pain.
Yeah.
A few breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Okay, and since I told you what's on my mind, Mike, what is on yours?
Oh, good segue. She's coming in hot with this. On my mind is trying to do Cole's job, and it is very difficult. Trying to figure out how to record with two people in the same room with one mic, that is very difficult.
Yes,
I
agree.
got this whole like fancy setup with like a preamp and stuff on my computer before, and I was like, oh, this sounds so good. I have like a built-in equalizer and stuff. And then it all worked. And I went away and I came back to record and it all didn't work. So we're back to basics.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then other than that, I've been watching some seasonal stuff, getting ready for our seasonal wrap up and awards.
Nice.
I started Jay's prediction for anime this season, Classroom of the Elite season 2.
What do you think of it?
Honestly, I'm enjoying it so far.
Nice.
It's more Classroom of the Elite. It's the perfect show to just like, I just kind of like turn my brain off, but also on at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's almost like almost trash TV, if that makes sense. But like
reality TV.
It's like reality TV. Like you're just watching, you're like, oh, this is cool. But like when you think about it too much, you're like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I can see that.
I think I'm on episode 6 right now, so I'm about halfway through. Honestly, if you like the first season, it's more of the first season. I liked the first season, so that I will continue. I'm looking forward to finishing it up. And then the other one I've been watching is Licorice Recoil.
Ooh.
I've been catching up on that too. I think I predicted this one would be my new anime of the season.
You did.
Without watching a single episode.
I think you did.
Now that I've watched more than a single episode, we'll see.
It kind of seems
might finish
like
strong.
One of those shows where it's just like, if you want to shut your brain off, watch some good action, then it's basically that.
Yeah. It's cute waifus shooting guns, looking cool, doing badass stuff. It's fun.
Did you watch those subbed or dubbed?
I watched Classroom of the Elite only dubbed. Actually, no, both of these I've only watched dubbed so far. That's why I kind of put them off for so long.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering that. But yeah.
But I'm gonna have to hurry up and watch Licorice Recoil in sub though, because it's very far behind.
Honestly, it'll be very interesting to talk about both the sub and the dub in our seasonal recap and seasonal wrap up.
Yeah, because me and Zayna are both dub watchers.
Filthy
mostly,
dub watchers, as Cole would say.
Filthy, filthy, disgusting dub watchers. But honestly, the dub for Classroom of the Elite is good, and then the dub for Licorice Recoil is really good. Actually, I would recommend it to people to check out. Actually, and with that said, Cole, what's on your mind? This was just an excuse for me to use Cole's crickets.
Cole definitely approves from his pit.
Yeah, I just saw a thumb stick out of the pit, and he said that was good. That was a good move. And with that, I'm going to go into the fact of the week.
Ooh. What's your fact, Mike?
Several species of sea snake can breathe through their skin. The Hydrophis cyanosinus can breathe through an area of skin between its snout and the roof of its head, according to an article published by the Royal Society of Open Science.
Interesting.
It has a small hole and a collection of blood vessels in the area for picking up oxygen from the seawater. Very
interesting.
I don't know why I picked that one. I just saw it and I was like,
this looks like fact worthy.
Yeah. And Michael doesn't even like snakes.
Yeah, I don't like snakes, so I really don't know why I picked that one.
This is a very interesting take for him.
Yeah. And with the fact out of the way, I think it's time we move into the news.
That is a very good idea.
Live from Anipro Studios, the news.
How weird is it hearing your own voice?
It's no, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Welcome to the news. We have a great lineup of news for you this week, and I'm going to start you off with a brand new anime announcement coming from Anime News Network. A new anime of Frieren Beyond Journey's End has been announced and was announced on Tuesday. The format of the anime wasn't revealed, though it's probably going to be a TV series, nor the release date. However, a visual was shown with the promise of more news to come at a later date. The story...
These are my favorite. when it's just like, hey, by the way, this is coming out. Do you have any more news? Here's a picture. See ya.
It honestly though, like I'm very excited for this. It's a very interesting story. It looks like it's your typical fantasy defeat the Demon King kind of thing, but it's essentially like after they fight the Demon King, and it's about the elf that you see on the poster there, and it kind of explores like the idea that elves age much slower than humans. So the elf is watching her party that she traveled with slowly age and die while she doesn't age at all. So she's trying to find out her purpose and the purpose of life if it's so fleeting.
That seems like a super like heavy topic for a show.
It is very heavy. Honestly, when I started reading the manga, it was like it felt like a gut punch, but like It does find a way to feel very heartwarming in like the people she meets and all that. So definitely very good. And
you know what that's reminding me of?
What's that?
Brooke from One Piece. His whole whole story. It just seems like it relates to that.
Mm-hmm.
Little teaser for the second half of the episode there. This is one you've been trying to get me to read for like a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some bad news for you.
You're not gonna read it?
I'm not gonna read it until the anime comes out and I watch the anime.
Honestly, that's kind of fair, but if you do change your mind, the manga is available in English by Viz, and Volume 5 had just released in the West this past July.
Ooh.
So you can go check it out if you need.
How far ahead is it in Japan?
In Japan, Volume 9 had just released a couple days ago.
Oh, okay. So that's not too far behind, honestly.
No, honestly, it's pretty up to date, I'd say.
5 volumes feels like a first season too for 12 episodes, so
yeah,
I would imagine it's pretty much everything you're going to see in the first season would be released already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, but I'm really hyped for this show, and I'm really excited. Honestly, though, I feel like Cole would like this show.
Yeah, you know what? Probably. I could see it. It kind of has that like kind of cerebral look to it that Cole likes.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to ask him about it when we dig him out of his pit.
Yeah, once he's allowed to come back.
He's gonna listen to the episode when he comes back, just like on disc or on whatever, and be like, "Why wasn't I here for this?"
He's gonna be like, first of all, why is this so bad? Because I'm not running it. And then second of all,
Zayna's never coming back.
Third of all, they talked about One Piece? Are you kidding me? On my podcast?
Yeah.
on the podcast that I conceptualized?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he'll say, "Oh, I'm just glad to be out of the pit."
Yeah.
Speaking of coming out of the pit, Mike, I think there are a couple of shows coming out of the pit and airing on this fall.
Yeah. Instead of doing really news, I just wanted to sum up basically like what a stacked season we have coming up. So I guess my news is just fall season is absolutely stacked. I'm just going to basically run down a list of shows that are coming out, when you can watch them, where you can watch them. And we can just have like a quick little chat on them to kind of just say basically a little preview.
Mm-hmm.
Not our full preview. We're going to have to wait till we're going to do a later episode where we do like a really more detailed preview.
More in-depth preview, yeah.
Yeah. I think you can look forward to that in probably like 2 to 3 weeks. So.
Here's a little tease for that coming up.
Yeah, teaser for sure. First one, I think pretty much everybody knows here. This is Cole gives us bi-weekly updates on this anime for the past like the entire length of the podcast, pretty much.
Cole's not here.
Chainsaw Man. Yeah.
Cole's not here, so you have to fill in.
Yeah, exactly. Chainsaw Man by Studio Mappa. It's coming out October 11th, and you can watch that on Crunchyroll. There is a ton of hype behind this one. It looks like they've done it right. Like they are animating it extremely well. Mm-hmm. I just don't see how this is not going to be the one everyone's talking about.
I mean, people are already talking about it, and if that says anything, imagine what it's going to be like when the show actually comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they actually like they put the budget behind it too, and it's Mappa. We trust Mappa, I think.
It's crazy though, like when we were at the convention, people were already like dressing up, talking about it, and like going around buying prints of it. That's not something you normally see for things that are only a manga.
Yeah. I know. I've been thinking that for a while too. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, this is not even an anime yet, and people are cosplaying. Like, it's hype.
It's insane.
And I think it'll do well too, because like Fujimoto, that's the guy's name, right?
Yeah,
the manga.
Fujimoto. Yeah.
He kind of wrote the manga with like an anime in mind almost. Like he writes things like a filmmaker kind of.
Yeah, so like if you look at any of his works, really, they're written as if it's like a storyboard, really. Yeah.
So I think it'll do pretty well. Mm-hmm. And I think we'll move on to the next big anime that's coming out that everyone's going to go nuts for. Spy Family Part 2 by Cloverworks is coming out on October 1st, also on Crunchyroll. There's going to be a theme here of Crunchyroll.
Yeah, just a few.
Just a couple.
Zayna, you're pretty familiar with Spy Family.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So excited.
We're going to meet the dog, finally.
I know. We're finally going to meet the doggo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bond's a good boy.
He is a good boy. It looks like it's basically just going to be like that whole arc for probably at least the first half of this second part. So that'll be good.
And the first season was so well animated, did a really good job of adapting the original manga. So like I have full confidence in this second part.
I'm happy they're doing it in 2 parts too, and they actually took a break in between because it kind of means like they don't feel rushed. They can actually like just do it properly. That's always good. Speaking of taking a break in between seasons, we're going to talk about Mob Psycho 100 Season 3.
What a segue, Michael.
Thanks, Jay. Studio Bones is doing this one. It's going to come out on October 5th. If I was smart, I would have wrote down which day of the week these were. But I'm not smart, so I didn't. Crunchyroll is also where you'll be able to watch this. Jay, I don't think I've ever heard you talk about Mob Psycho. Do you have any feelings towards it?
I like Mob Psycho. I got into Mob Psycho because I really liked One Punch Man, and first season was all right, but it really started getting good around season 2.
I agree. Yeah.
And I think season 3 is just going to be amazing. They already released the first or the OP for the season, and it's amazing. And apparently the entire show's already done. So like, and I think it was like something around like 12,000 frames of animation or something like that.
Yeah, there was some kind of story that came out about it, and that's pretty hype.
Like, it seems like it's going to be really good. These first 3 shows are just going to knock it out of the park, I think.
Yeah. Do you think this next show, My Hero Academia Season 6, also by Studio Bones, coming out October 1st and also on Crunchyroll, is going to knock it out of the park? I know you've read the manga, so you actually know what this season's about.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I still haven't seen season 5, so I don't know where that left off. Do you know it by chance?
Season 5 ends off like basically right before Shigaraki, I guess he's about to transform or something, and the League of Villains kind of is doing their thing.
Okay, so it's the villain arc.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd say this is going to be decently hype. I think that the hype for My Hero Academia is kind of dying down a little bit.
I agree.
For sure.
Like, I used to, like, love My Hero. Then last season, I was just kind of like, this is okay.
Yeah,
I just feel less excited for it. But I'm still going to watch it.
The manga's also kind of been, like, meh recently. So, not really looking too good. But, I mean, what the I'm looking forward to seeing what people feel about the show. I hope it's good.
I hope it's good too.
I have a feeling it might redeem itself a little bit, but I don't want to go too far with that.
Yeah.
So this one and also Spy Family come out the same day on the 1st, so they'll be coming out on Saturdays.
Yes.
Chainsaw Man comes out on the 11th, which is a Tuesday. So Tuesdays you got Chainsaw Man, Saturdays you got Spy Family and My Hero Academia. And then on the 5th, you will have Mob Psycho, which is a Wednesday. I managed to look up a calendar, so very talented.
Very high tech of you.
Yeah. Next up, we got Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War Arc by Studio Pierrot.
Yeah.
Coming out on October 10th, which is Thursday.
Monday.
So there's Thursdays.
Monday.
Yeah. You're right. How am I allowed to do this?
How did you pull out a calendar and Jay still got it right?
Yeah. What's going on? Jay, do you have a calendar up?
I do. I do have a calendar up.
This is now your responsibility. I also couldn't find like an actual confirmation it's coming out on the 10th. It just says it is in some places, but there's no actual announcement. There's also no announcement where it's going to air on the site either.
Viz did say that it's being simulcast, so at least we know it's not going to be stuck in Netflix jail or something.
Yeah. There was this rumor going around that Disney had it, and I think they have it in Japan, but I don't know where they're getting it over here. I'm just going to assume Crunchyroll.
I feel like they do have it in Japan, and things like Spy Family are on Disney Plus in Japan, so like that's not really too big of a deal, but hopefully somewhere like Crunchyroll gets it, because that would be pretty cool. But I feel like if Crunchyroll had it, they would have announced it already.
That's what I kind of think too.
Yeah.
I think it feels like summertime rendering all over again, and I'm very uncomfortable with it.
It's kind of
You know what I
nerve-wracking.
mean?
Yeah, I know it is kind of nerve-wracking.
Yeah. This one I sat down Zayna before the podcast and made her watch the trailers for every single one of these. And I could tell when she was watching the trailer for 1,000 Year Blood War arc.
You know what? I looked excited.
Yeah.
I've never watched Bleach before, but that one, when I watched the trailer, I was like, you know what? I could see myself watching this.
It feels like out of the big three, the one I would bet you would like the most, honestly. I'm surprised that One Piece is your choice.
Well, I've come so far.
It's crazy that the big three are just like, I mean, One Piece is still going, but like Bleach is coming back, Boruto is going strong.
Technically, yeah.
Okay, I say strong, but like I'm gonna put a big asterisk next to that.
It's going.
Boruto's going. Yeah.
But
what about Blue Lock?
Man, honestly, this is gonna be the dark horse of the season.
I have a feeling you're right there. It's by Studio 8-Bit, coming out on October 8th, which is a
Thursday.
And it's going to be on Crunchyroll. Jay, talk about Blue Lock.
Blue Lock is a very different sports anime. It's a soccer anime about basically they're in this facility that is trying to weed out the best forward men in soccer to play for the world, the national team. And like it takes it in like a very self-centered approach. So like, they incentivize like wanting to be the one to be the star MVP kind of thing, rather than like playing it like a team. And I think that that's very interesting because like that goes against everything other sports manga try to do. Yeah. So usually it's like, we need to play as a team, and the and the like rival teams or the enemy teams are the ones that are like all about like
self-centered and stuff. Yeah.
So just seeing
that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like I'm watching Aoashi right now, and it's like, it's just your standard like, I need to play as a team. Yeah. I need to be less of an individual.
Yeah, and the art is very good too. The mangaka who did this manga was an assistant on Attack on Titan, so like you can, it's kind of similar in art style, and it looks like you can tell it's by like this guy worked on Attack on Titan. Yeah. And also I like what they did with, one thing Cole always points out is he likes the eyes. Mm-hmm. They do cool stuff with the eyes in the preview for this one. So that's like little fiery bits. Mm-hmm. Speaking of fiery bits, To Your Eternity Season 2 is changing studios. Studio Drive will be doing Season 2. And this will come out on October 23rd. That is which a Friday.
Is a Sunday.
Friday.
It's a Sunday.
Wait, I'm looking at... Yeah. Sorry,
I'm
looking at...
Oh!
I had to close my calendar for a second.
Welcome to Anipro.
It reopened to October. Or it reopened to September.
That's okay. It's going to be on Crunchyroll. Zayna, you liked the first season of To Your Eternity.
I did. Yeah, and the season 2 looks really good. It looks sad. I mean, like season 1 was sad too, but like season 2, we were just watching the trailer for it, and he just wants to be alone.
It's all about loss and moving on. And so it's kind of.
I've always been nervous about checking out To Your Eternity because like any of those series where it's very heavy and heartfelt, like you really need to be in that headspace to get into it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Honestly, with this one, Jay, I think you'd be better off reading the manga. I think is my take for you on this one.
Honestly, you're probably right.
Yeah. I'm going to rely on you, though, to tell me about Uzaki-chan Season 2 by Studio Engi, coming out on October 1st, which is a Saturday. And they haven't announced where this one's airing. Uzaki-chan Season 2?
Yeah, I mean, it's really a slice of life. I haven't read the manga. I think Cole's more into this than I am because I think
we're missing Cole on this one.
He's actually seen season 1, but
you haven't?
No. But it's a slice of life rom-com about a girl and guy in college, and that's about it.
Yeah, I watched the teaser for this one with Zayna, and they were clearly trying very hard to not show her giant bazongas the entire time. So yeah, I'm sure there's still a lot of it though.
Yeah.
So if you like giant bazongas, check out season 2.
If you like
Or
giant
check out
bazongas.
season 1 and then watch season 2.
Yeah. This next one, Jay, The Eminence in Shadow, I watched the trailer for it. I didn't know anything about it. It feels like a Jay show all the way. It's by Studio Nexus. It's coming out on October 5th, which is a Wednesday on High Dive, your nemesis.
Yep.
You sound like you have thoughts on this one.
So I love the Eminence in Shadows light novel. It's basically, I know that there's a manga or something like similar to this, but it's essentially an isekai where the protagonist is a big chunibyo who, like, if you don't know what that means, it's basically like someone who thinks like he has powers and like he had like that kind of stupid thing. So he makes up this whole story to these new friends that he makes about like a secret cult trying to take over the world and how like it's up to him to stop them. And it turns out that this like false story is actually true, and there's actually like a secret cult with the exact name that he made up. And so all of his friends are like actually trying to stop it, and he just thinks like they're playing along with him.
Okay. The reason I said this one would be for you is because it looked very edgy and it had a lot of elves in it.
Yes. So all of his friends are female elves, and
Is that the one that was like Gamma?
Yeah,
yes.
They all had like
and
edgy names.
yeah. So alpha, beta, gamma, epsilon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Honestly, I'm really excited for this. If only it weren't on High Dive. I guess I have to get it now.
It's cheap. Get it.
Yeah.
And then I'm also going to rely on you to talk about Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun Season 3 by Bandai Namco, October 8th. I've lost my calendar here. I'll tell you.
Which is a Saturday.
Thank you, Jay. And we don't know where it's coming out.
Probably Crunchyroll, if I were to guess, because they have season 1 and 2. Iruma-kun, if you like the first 2 seasons, you're probably going to like this. It's basically about a human being adopted by a high-ranking demon in the demon world to be his grandson, and he dotes on him and sends him to the demon school because he always wanted a grandson to dote over. And because he's human, he has to hide that fact from all the other demons at the school. So hilarity ensues and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's kind of exactly what I expected it to be.
Honestly though, like it handles its premise really well, and it feels slapstick to a degree, but like it's definitely something to check out because it's really good. It's not cheap in any way.
That's good. Next up we got Urusei Yatsura, the remake by David Productions, coming out on October 14th, a Friday.
Yep.
And that will be, they haven't announced where. This one's got to be Crunchyroll, I got to imagine.
Honestly, I feel like it's going to be a High Dive show.
You think so?
I just have this, like, I have no basis for this. I just have this gut feeling that they're going to put it on High Dive and it's going to be their big announcement of the season.
One of these question mark ones will definitely be a Netflix show. I'm just calling it now.
Honestly, Urusei Yatsura could be Netflix, but I don't know why. There's just this gut feeling that it's that's saying High Dive.
Is it because you really want to watch it and you don't really want to get High Dive?
That could be the gut feeling.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Reincarnated as a Sword by studio C2C, coming out September 28th. This is the first of these to come out, and it's coming out on High Dive. I watched the trailer for this one. It actually looked, I was expecting it to look stupid, but it honestly kind of caught my attention a little bit. It's some like little wolf girl who like meets this sword who's also a person who's reincarnated into it. It has like eyes and stuff, and it makes her a really strong warrior or something.
So I don't
He
know.
gives her power, is what he said.
There's this weird niche trend that's been going on lately where a lot of light novels are coming out of people being reincarnated as inanimate objects or like various creatures. Like there's reincarnated as a dragon, in another world as a vending machine, reincarnated as a sword. Like so strange, but
yeah. It's almost like they're like running out of ideas. So they're like, what if he was a sword?
Yeah. What if instead of he has a sword, what if he is the sword?
Yeah. What if he becomes a vending machine? Yeah,
So
I don't know about
strange.
this one, but I'll watch an episode or two for sure. I'll definitely watch this next one, Gundam Witch from Mercury. If you don't know, I love Gundam stuff. This one's by Studio Sunrise. It's coming out October 2nd. and they haven't announced where it's going to air either. This is super interesting. It's like the first Gundam series to ever have a female lead in it.
Oh, interesting.
So that in itself is interesting. It looks like the animation's really good. I made, like I said, I made Zayna watch all of these, and she even kind of like...
Yeah. No, I don't particularly like Gundam, just because I'm not really into robot anime, but the animation for it actually looked pretty eye-catching, so... Yeah,
like the characters all look super interesting and stuff is definitely caught my eye. And then that's the last of my list. Should we cover Cole's news, or should we let him talk about it when he's back?
Why don't we just quickly go over it? We don't need to go into too much detail.
Okay. Do you want to read it?
Sure. So Girlfriend Season 2 and Rent-A-Girlfriend Season 3 are happening. The official website for the television anime of Hiroyuki's Girlfriend manga announced on Friday that production on a second season has been greenlit. Hiroyuki had been counting down daily since Monday until Friday by posting teaser images on Twitter, culminating with an image of the characters announcing the second season. Also, the Rent-A-Girlfriend anime is officially set to return, with the official channels revealing that a decision has been made to continue with a third season. More information will be revealed at a special event in March. So it seems like going to be a 2023 show.
Yeah, this is just another case of, hey, this is coming out, and then, do you have any information? No,
Nope.
Here's some pictures. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too much to say there,
Not
really.
too terrible. Yeah, but...
fans of trash shows, rejoice.
Yeah, speaking of trash, let's head into this trashy game corner. What do you think?
Let's go.
Welcome to the Game Corner.
Welcome to Jay's Game Corner. We have a ton of news for you this week, with a Nintendo Direct having happened on Tuesday, and we're just going to go over that a little bit, maybe talk about the state of play just a little bit, but we'll see what happens. But to start us off, ahead of the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet in November and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 in 2023, Nintendo held a Nintendo Direct broadcast to round out its slate of upcoming games, and there was a 40-minute live stream focusing largely on Nintendo's Winter Games lineup, as well as future 2023 titles. We did go over this in a highlights, or in a reaction video that you can find on our YouTube channel if you want to go check that out. But we can briefly talk about what they showed off, as well as a couple thoughts about that as well. What do you guys think?
I think that's a good idea. Me and Jay reacted to this and then kind of just posted a live reaction on YouTube, and we didn't really get much time to actually kind of have any thoughts on them. So I figured this is probably a good place for us to chat about it a little more.
Absolutely. So they started off with a new traditional Fire Emblem game called Fire Emblem Engage. We saw both cinematics and tactics gameplay. And while it looks like the typical Fire Emblem strategy game, you can also equip rings on your characters to get help from Fire Emblem characters from the past, so like Marth and the classic lords and that. So kind of like Tokyo Mirage Sessions, if you remember that game.
I remember that game, but I never played it, so...
So that game was another crossover with Fire Emblem with Shin Megami Tensei, and all of the characters, instead of having like personas, they had Fire Emblem characters as their personas. So it's kind of like that. The main character used Chrom and different things like that.
Yeah. Because they're actually like in the trailer or whatever, they're actually like floating around with like, it just looks like they have personas or stands floating behind them.
Yeah, and then like they could fuse with them or something, which was very neat.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
And then
I'm gonna play it for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, I loved Three Houses, and I know you did too. So I mean, I'm sure we're both very excited for it.
And they already showed that it has like the slice of life stuff in it, which is what I go nuts for. So
and like I really hope that it keeps the waifu simulator stuff, because that's what I really loved about Three Houses.
Oh, it'll be there.
Yeah.
It'll be there.
Yeah. Honestly, that's what's probably selling a lot of copies. So if they took it out, that would be stupid.
Yep.
So stupid.
Fire Emblem Engaged will be released on January 20th, 2023, which is very soon, honestly. I'm a little bit surprised, but at the same time, this is the same game that was leaked a couple months ago, so we know that it's done. So them releasing it then, not too surprising, but also very exciting. And it will also get a Divine Edition with collectible items like a art book and various things like that. So go pre-order that if you would like. Additionally, after more than 3 years of secrecy, Nintendo confirmed that the sequel to The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, is titled The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. The trailer also served as our first good look into gameplay for the game, as we see Link skydive off of a sky island, launch himself into the air, climb, and even fly around. We did see a little bit of gameplay for it before, but it was kind of like, here's like 5 seconds of gameplay, so we did get a little bit more, which was nice.
Yeah.
And, yeah, honestly, they did hold off on live streaming the direct in the UK, and I feel like Tears of the Kingdom is probably a good reason why.
Yeah, I was telling Mike about that earlier. He's like, I didn't know that. I was like, yeah, it's kind of
it's a little too on the nose, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame them if they were going to do that.
Yeah.
But how you guys feeling about Breath of the Wild 2 or Tears of the Kingdom?
I mean, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm excited. It looked really good. I never finished Breath of the Wild itself. I only played it a little bit and then jumped into other games, but
Yeah.
I know it's a good game.
As you do.
I know.
Yeah.
I have bad ADHD. I just keep on jumping from them.
It's a very big game, so like honestly,
there's a lot to do, but
yeah.
The trailer for this one looks really good, so I'm definitely gonna jump into it and
then-
probably jump out
Yeah.
and jump back in months later.
Yeah, exactly. But to your credit, you did beat The Witcher recently.
I actually didn't beat The Witcher.
Oh.
I still have the last DLC to finish.
I think she
Nope.
lied to you, Mike.
No credit given.
Yeah,
I'm excited for this game. It looks good. It just looks like more Breath of the Wild. I don't really know what else to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know too much about it, not even like the
Yeah.
story or anything. So, and the game's also set to come out May 12th, 2023, which is 2 days before my birthday, and I'm very excited because I get a good birthday present next
There
year.
you go.
Yeah.
yeah.
But speaking of exciting announcements, Pikmin 4 was announced with a trailer showing off its gorgeous-looking environments, and a little bit of a camera change where you're going to be playing kind of from the perspective of the Pikmin rather than top-down. It's scheduled to launch sometime in 2023. We didn't really get that much gameplay, but we did get that perspective shot that I mentioned, and this is a long time coming, guys. We finally get an actual announcement of Pikmin 4.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Before the podcast today, Michael showed me it, and I totally forgot that was even coming out, so I got super excited again.
Yeah. I didn't show you the awkward part in the direct where he also tried to advertise Pikmin Bloom, the Pokemon Go ripoff game that they put out.
Yeah.
And he's like, please play this game.
Please play our game. Nobody's playing it.
Nobody's playing it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to play it either. If you play Pikmin Bloom, please come to our Discord and tell us about it, because I don't know anything about it. I don't know anyone who's even touched it.
Honestly, I feel like if you played Pokemon Go, you played Pikmin Bloom.
Yeah, it's the same game.
Yeah. Speaking of playing the same game over again, they also announced Kirby's Return to Dreamland, which was on the Wii, is now coming to Nintendo Switch.
Ooh.
Titled Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, adding a mech copy ability, a new subgame, and the ability for everyone to play as Kirby, whereas before you could play as Kirby, Meta Knight, DDD, and Banana Waddle Dee. This game is set to launch on Nintendo Switch on February 24th, 2023, and it's basically a tie-in with Kirby's 30th anniversary, which is pretty cool.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You rattled off those names with like no effort, by the way. That was actually impressive.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
But have you guys played the original on Wii?
No.
No? Okay.
I have never played any Kirby game.
You've never played a Kirby? Honestly, they're a lot of fun. The new one that just came out, that one's a lot of fun. There's a demo on Switch for that one right now, and you can go try it out. It's the first level. It's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend that one. Return to Dreamland is just another 2D Kirby game, and it's basically the best one for newcomers, probably, because it's I wouldn't say the newest one, because I know that there's another one on Switch, but probably like the quintessential one for multiple players.
Yeah, it feels like Kirby kind of like does its best when it's 2D and kind of platformer. It feels, when I watch the video, I'm like, oh, this just looks like good Kirby.
It's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of interesting and fun power-ups, so definitely go try it out. And then there was a whole bunch of other stuff that was announced for the Nintendo Switch, including Octopath Traveler 2, an It Takes Two port, Fatal Frame Remaster, Rune Factory 3 Special, more N64 games, including GoldenEye 007, Danganronpa-inspired Master Detective Archive Rain Code, and Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life, now renamed A Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life, and Tales of Symphonia Remastered. Lots of good stuff for lots of people.
That is exciting.
Yes. Lots of good ones.
Yeah. Come to our Discord. We'll talk about these games all day long with you. We have a gaming channel.
Yes.
Yep. You can head into the game corner and chat about all the games that you're looking forward to.
Yeah. The link's in the description of wherever you're listening to or watching this.
Yes.
And with that,
let's head into the mailbag.
It's time for the mailbag. Beautiful. Jay, you're manning the soundboard from now on. You're way better at it than me.
I thought with that last one you were going to go over top of us talking just as a meme.
The past, I was dictated to do the soundboard and I keep forgetting to do the soundboard while we're recording, so
yeah,
they make fun of me.
I'm glad that you didn't do it.
Yeah. Dazed Bunny from our Discord sent in a mailbag, which is where you can send them in. You can also message us on Instagram and stuff, and we'll also include them in here. Or Twitter, or TikTok, or YouTube, or literally anywhere. Just talk to any of us.
Or even our individual Twitters. Sky's the limit.
Yeah, you could even send them by mail.
Send them by mail, yeah. Here's Jay's entire address on the screen right now if you're watching on YouTube.
1234 Gaming Street. Anyway, question.
The actual question from Dazed Bunny is, who is your favorite manga author and why? Their personal favorite is Fujimoto for Chainsaw Man, Fire Punch, and Sayonara Eri. But they want to know what our favorite is. I feel like Jay is going to have a really long and complicated answer. So maybe I'll go first.
You go first.
My favorite's probably got to be Urasawa. Everything I've read from him is like a 10 out of 10. I just love that old school kind of vibe to it, where it's very grounded, but some fantastical stuff still happens. But I don't know. There's something about the way he does his manga and just the art style of it that I just really love, and it just kind of strikes a chord with me.
Is that the guy that did Monster?
Yeah, Monster and Pluto and stuff.
Yeah, no, Monster, top tier.
Ooh, is that your favorite mangaka then?
Yeah, I'm terrible with manga authors. I have no idea what their names are, so I just know which ones are the best. And honestly, Monster was the manga that I actually read in its entirety and really liked the most. So I agree.
I really need to check out Monster. It's been on my list for
you haven't read Monster?
Ever. I haven't read Monster.
Oh my God.
Really want to though.
It's really good.
It's so good.
I've heard, and Johan is a villain that I feel like I would really like. So I'm really yeah.
Who's your favorite mangaka?
Honestly, that's a very it's been a very difficult question for me to answer because there are a lot that I really like.
Yeah.
The duo who did Noragami I really like because I love their
Toka or whatever.
I love their art and storytelling.
Yeah, they're really good.
Alive, which is probably a lesser known series, but also really good. I have the first 5 volumes of the manga, and I'm looking at it right now, and I really want to give that another read because it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Another shout out would be the duo who did Death Note. I love Bakuman, which is their manga. I think you started reading Bakuman, Mike, right?
Yeah, I think I'm 3 or 4 volumes into it.
What'd you think of it?
I'm honestly really enjoying it. It's super, it's really good.
And it's really detailed into how they do jump in that, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of nice little behind the scenes almost.
Yeah, and and this is kind of something that I feel a lot about how people feel about their stuff. Normally, what you first read by them is what your favorite thing is going to be of theirs.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that you didn't say Berserk, actually.
Oh, yeah. Kentaro Miura is a good choice, too.
Yeah. Miura's always a great choice.
Yeah. I just got to go Urasawa. It's kind of truer to my heart, I think.
I think my absolute favorite, because, honestly, those would be honorable mentions, but I think my absolute favorite would have to be the person who did
Rent a girlfriend.
Kaguya-sama and Oshinoko.
Oh, Akasaka or whatever.
Akasaka.
Yeah.
Just like
that's a good choice too.
Just from like the fact that he went from like a kind of psychological rom-com slice of life kind of thing to a whole drama about idols and the whole idol scene and stuff like that. And they're both amazing manga.
Yeah.
It just like baffles me. He's such a good storyteller, and he knows how to make good manga. I'm very excited to see what he has next, because he has said that he has something else in mind after Kaguya. So very excited for
tease.
Very excited to see what he has next. And also like he's also just a big gamer. Like he plays games on streams with a VTuber.
Oh, does he? I didn't know that. That's
yeah.
Cool.
So like he's a big gamer, and whenever he's not drawing manga, which like when does he have time to do that? He's streaming.
Mangaka are a different breed, so like yeah. You have to be.
It's absolutely insane, but I'd probably say Akasaka.
That's a good choice. I'm actually surprised Zayna didn't say I don't know how to say the name, but Gege Akatumi from Jujutsu Kaisen.
You know what? Jujutsu Kaisen's so good, but Monster's just Monster's monster. Like there's
a beautiful story, right?
It's very beautiful.
The way I feel about Monster and Jujutsu Kaisen is a good shonen manga, whereas like Monster is like a good story that anyone, whether you're a fan of manga or not, would like.
Yeah. I'm amazed it hasn't been turned into a live action, honestly. It would make such a good live action.
Honestly, with it coming to Netflix, I wouldn't be surprised if like now that they have more kind of like dealings with the company that did the anime.
Yeah, it's true.
If they made the decision to make a live action or something.
Yeah. I think we should probably head into the break at this point, because we're running super long thanks to me basically detailing the entire fall 2022 season. Jay, do you have a question for us?
Yes, I do. What's your favorite moment from One Piece? We are doing a One Piece episode this week. So I want to know, what's your favorite moment? And while we were on break, take some time to think about that and comment down below, or wherever we are. Let us know.
And with that, I say we go to break.
First-hand embarrassment of having to do this.
It's okay, I'll close my eyes. Just think of the good flow.
Yo, dreamin', don't give it up, Mikey, dreamin', don't give it up, Zayna, dreamin', don't give it up, Jay, dreamin', don't give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up. Here's how the story goes. We talk out about a story written by a legend, no doubt, a pirate with a lofty dream. He'll sing, he'll be king of the pirates, he's gonna be king. So yeah, we're going to talk about One Piece this week, if you couldn't tell. We're just going to talk about various things that we like our favorite arcs, our favorite characters, and our favorite moments in the story. And everything is going to be pre-timeskip, so if you haven't gotten that far yet, then don't worry about post-timeskip spoilers. And what do you say? Let's just jump right into it.
Cole's away. Let's talk about One Piece.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah. Man, I'm still recovering from the One Piece rap.
You should have did a full-on mic drop there. That was impressive.
One thing Zayna just learned is Jay is like actually kind of sneaky good at rapping.
Yeah, that caught me by surprise.
Especially the second part there, where you're like sort of busting the massive flow. I was like, okay. I forgot Jay's actually kind of good at rapping.
I didn't even know it was gonna go that far. I thought he was just gonna do the intros.
No.
Okay. All or nothing, baby.
Yeah, all or nothing.
Yeah.
So what are we going to talk about first? Favorite?
I think we're going to talk about One Piece.
I think we're talking about One Piece, and I think
Yes.
Jay should tell us who his favorite character pre-Timeskip is, or just talk about characters.
Yeah.
I guess.
Sure. So my favorite character is a Straw Hat, obviously, but it's
Yeah.
probably not the Straw Hat that you are expecting. My favorite character is Usopp.
Whoa.
Oh, that's a hot take.
That's
It is a very hot take.
interesting.
Why?
Yeah, why?
I think it's mostly because of his development and also just his characterization. He starts out as like this whiny, lying, like dork, but over the course of the series, he evolves into like something that someone can rely on.
Yeah. He does have some of like the best character development for sure.
Yeah, and like I especially think about his moments in Water 7 when like he starts fighting with Luffy because of the
When he-
going merry.
Yeah, and he kind of realizes like he kind of feels like a little like imposter syndrome or whatever. 'Cause he's kind of like, am I even doing anything useful here? And
Yeah,
then-
because like the going merry was like the one contribution that he made to the Straw Hats that like he could say was tangible, and now it's something that they can't really keep with them anymore. So
yeah,
now he's wondering like, okay, what's my role here?
What's my purpose?
What's my purpose? So he fights with Luffy and he's like, I'm leaving out of anger because he's angry that he feels like they're throwing him away because they're throwing his one contribution away.
yeah.
So like, yeah, I think that whole part in Water 7 started to make me like Usopp, but then like stuff post time skip that I'm not going to go into in too much detail because we're not talking post time skip.
Yeah.
Really made me like Usopp the most. So
I really liked also his origin story too with like Syrup
Yeah.
Village or whatever, where like Captain Kuro and stuff. And I don't know, his whole arc is super interesting and like kind of just like it's good. It's just good. I don't know how to explain it.
yeah, I'm like trying so hard to hold my tongue about
I
things
know.
that I want to say.
I know. Captain Kuro, underrated villain, by the way. That guy was cool.
True. Yeah.
The swords swords on his fingers. That's awesome.
Honestly, One Piece is like crazy cool villains. Like
Yeah.
All the characters in One Piece.
yeah, all the characters are crazy good and like all super unique and well thought out.
Yeah.
For the world that they all live in. But Zayna, who's your favorite character?
I'm a sucker for Zoro.
He's cool, man.
He's the coolest. I don't know. 3 sword style. I mean, who else does that? Nobody.
Yeah, because it's impractical.
Well, who's gonna get him? Who's gonna get him?
Just wait till he shows you 4 sword style. You won't believe where he puts the 4th sword.
Yeah, no, I really like Zoro just because he's just a cool character and how he's like Luffy's best bud and he's always there for him.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
his undeniable loyalty to Luffy
Yeah.
is so inspiring.
Yeah.
And the fact that like he will stick with him no matter what is just like so cool.
And he
Yeah.
was the first one to go with him, so
Yeah,
it's kind of
yeah,
like
he's literally Luffy's first mate.
Yeah. He really is.
And like honestly, he just makes me laugh all the time with his navigation skills.
Yeah. Don't trust Zoro's navigation skills. Yeah, the memes are great.
So many memes. And just like some of the things he's done, like I like, and this kind of ties in with the Usopp thing, how when Usopp comes back, he at the end of Water 7, he's kind of like, oh, I'm coming back and all that, and Zoro's like, no, you need to apologize to him, Luffy. You can't just take him back. You need to wait for him to apologize first.
Yeah. He's just like such a good friend to
Yeah.
Luffy. Like they really are just like really good friends.
Yeah, absolutely. And they just like they bring out the best in each other. Like I mean, this but like they bring out the best in each other as like captain and crewmate.
Yeah. Yeah, they really are like a perfect pair. Like
Yeah.
they're both like really dumb, but like totally cool with it, and just like they just do their best
Yeah.
and try their hardest.
They're both very dumb, but they're both like very combat smart
and very motivated too.
Yeah, and both very driven by their dream.
I would say my favorite character, I'm gonna skip ahead to mine here, is probably, and like this is gonna be no surprise because I'm always the normie, it's Luffy. I love Luffy. He's so goofy. I love it. He
is so goofy.
he just goes around and he just does what he wants, and he knows what he wants to do. He's gonna be king of the pirates.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he just does that. He's just like, I'm just gonna go do it. I'm gonna go ahead.
Sorry. And you know, like, Luffy's just one of those characters that just grows on you. Because, like, in the beginning, you're like, oh, God, this guy's so annoying.
This
like,
stretchy boy is so ridiculous.
He's overly ridiculous. He is just, I don't know. I don't know how to put it, but he's just one of the characters that is just like, okay, yeah, I get you. Now I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always a sucker, too, for characters who, like, are gluttons and just eat a lot.
Yeah.
Because that's me in real life. I just love to eat.
Yeah.
So
I also love his reason for being a pirate instead of being a hero. He says, like, if I'm a hero, then I have to share my meat. But if I'm a pirate, I can eat all the meat I want.
it's true. He's right. Yep.
Yeah.
And, like, his whole backstory is just so good. It's just everything about Luffy's good. And he just draws people to him because he's so charismatic, too.
Yeah, and, like, I love how he just does whatever he wants, like, without regard for the repercussions that it brings. Like, he punched a celestial dragon because because it just was bothering his friends, so he wanted to protect them.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's the other thing, too, is he'll do whatever he wants. And what he wants is always, like, to be a good friend and to be, like, a good person and, like, achieve everyone's goals and stuff. Like, that's what he cares about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even going back to when you were talking about Usopp, when he had his fight with Usopp, like, he kind of just let Usopp have his moment there to, like, kind of be brooding and, like, mad. Because he kind of, I think he knew that he needed to, like, prove himself to himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Absolutely.
Luffy always gets a rap as being, like, an idiot because he is an idiot. But, like, he kind of has, like, that interpersonality smarts where he kind of can, like, pick up on stuff like that a little bit.
Mm-hmm. He knows his friends.
Yeah, like, I think back to the moment with Nami where she's, like, on the ground and he goes up to Nami and she's like, go away, you don't know what's going on. He's like, you're right, I don't, but I'm still going to help you.
Yeah.
And he's just like, just ask for my help. And so she does, and he puts his hat on her.
His treasure.
And his treasure. Because he treasures her.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
it's powerful stuff.
It's such a good moment, and like it really shows what kind of a person Luffy is.
Yeah.
How he'll always be there for his friends, how much he cares about his friends.
Yeah. And he makes friends super easily too.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't take very much.
No.
And enemies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other highlights of characters you can think of?
I mean, all characters
They're all
in
good.
One Piece are good.
all the One Piece
Like-
characters are good.
Real quick hit. Who's your favorite villain then?
Favorite villain? Oh.
Off the top of your head from the pre-Timeskip. I gotta go Crocodile. I don't know, something about Crocodile I just love. That guy's cool. He's got the big hook, big cigar, big scar on his face.
Yep.
He's made of sand.
Yeah, he's definitely the coolest character. Pre-Timeskip villain, I'd say as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of.
You don't have to have an answer really, but
Would Smoker count as a villain?
pre-Timeskip I'd say he kind of does. Yeah.
Smoker's cool as well.
I do like Smoker.
He also has a cigar.
Yeah,
Also
he has
has a
two,
cigar.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
makes him cool.
they just look, put a cigar in a person's mouth, and they're instantly really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's key. Yeah. What about you, Zayna?
Oh, I was agreeing with you with Crocodile.
Crocodile, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really liked him in that arc.
Enel's
Yeah.
good too. I feel like he doesn't get enough love. But yeah.
Who was that?
Inaru from
that-
Skypiea.
From Skypiea. Okay, I thought so.
Is that God?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I it's been so long since I last read Skypiea, so
Yeah.
I thought I knew who you were talking about, but it was
I think he's Enel in the anime, and then he's Inaru in the manga. I forget. There's some
Okay.
confusing
Yeah.
manga anime mix-ups here.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I always call Zoro Zolo because that's how I'm a manga only.
Yeah, and we're anime only, just so
Yeah.
people
Mhm.
know.
So I always think of Zolo as Zolo instead of Zoro, even though it's supposed to be Zoro.
Yeah. It's one of those things, right?
Yeah. Which is weird because Viz is like the only place that calls him Zolo still. Everywhere
Oh,
else
really?
calls him Zoro. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So it's very strange
Yeah.
why they aren't like changing it or anything.
Like, even on official stuff, he's still Zolo. Or Zoro, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What say we move to Arc?
Let's do it.
All right. Do you want to start, Mike?
I think I can go. I honestly have a hard time picking my favorite arc a little bit for this one, because I do like all of them pretty much.
Yeah.
I do have a soft spot for like the early stuff, like when they're all still joining the crews and
Mhm.
Luffy's just like a little baby pirate.
Yeah.
But honestly, I really think at the end of the day it's Marineford. That whole war arc there is just so good.
Yeah.
You got the Whitebeard moments, you got the Ace moments, you got Shanks coming in and finally doing something. You got Blackbeard kind of coming in and like starting to tease that he's going to be a big bad, and there's just so much good stuff there.
And like that arc really changes the whole dynamic of the story, really. Like One Piece starts off as like just a typical go around, beat the bad and rinse repeat kind of thing, but once you get to Marineford, like things really start to sink in of what kind of a scope and story One Piece is.
Because like in Water 7, they start taking on the world government a little bit. Mm-hmm. But in Marineford, it's like, oh, yeah, they're just like, they're at war with the world government. Yeah,
like
now.
Things are really, especially like after what happened to Ace, like, Luffy, like it's personal for Luffy.
Zayna's gonna cry. Yeah. What about you, Jay? What's your favorite?
My favorite, I'm gonna stick with you. And even if we were talking about post-time skip stuff, I think I'd still say that this was my favorite arc. Yeah. It's just the arc that really stuck with me as like something that was special and that made, and like this had the moments that made One Piece special for me. Yeah. And that was Alabasta.
Ooh, nice.
Just like
Alabasta's good.
It's really like the arc that made me realize like, okay, this is what One Piece is about. Yeah. The whole stuff with Crocodile meeting Vivi, the whole idea of Baroque Works, Robin joining. One of my favorite moments from that arc is like one of my favorite moments in the entire series, just like when they're leaving and they just have their arms up with the X on their hand.
Yeah. That was nice.
That to me almost defines what One Piece is.
Yeah, it really does. Like that's the first, we keep saying it's the first time you expands the story because they do it so much, but like after Alabasta, things have changed a lot, right? Because you got Luffy making friends, and then they're the Nakama and stuff like that. And then you kind of get hints that the world government's up to stuff, and the warlords are established.
Yeah, like the whole idea of Baroque Works is omnipresent from beginning to end, and like it's such an intricate organization, quote unquote. Crocodile genuinely felt like a big threat in that arc, which
he did. Like it up until pretty much the end, it really was like, how is Luffy gonna beat this guy? Yeah, because he really didn't have anything that could beat him until he did, obviously. But until he did it, but like it really, like, he turned into sand. How do you stop that? Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's such a cool villain too, and he kind of later on, I think, becomes less. He kind of almost becomes like just a side character, I guess, kind of like
But like in his moment when he was the big bad, he was so cool, such a great threat to Luffy and the rest of the Straw Hats. Vivi was like a great companion. I really like Vivi, and also Karoo, her duck. Yeah, I'm waiting for Karoo to come back because he's best boy.
He's best boy.
He's best boy.
You meet Ace in that arc?
Yes.
Yeah, you meet Ace. And that's when you get his card. Beaver card, that's what it is. Yeah. Which sets up to the Marineford part when he's trying to find Ace. God. Like
Oda, Oda.
This is just crazy. The amount that they set up, and like it's just insane. There's so much going on in like arcs in the beginning that introduce some things that are like not even for like 3 arcs down the road.
The stuff he sets up in Alabasta.
Like, how is your brain working like this?
Doesn't come up again until like Marineford.
Yeah, like and I guarantee you, there's stuff that's been set up in Alabasta that's still not revealed, even like modern manga.
It's crazy.
It's insane the kind of things that Oda has set up and established in that manga or in that arc, really.
Yeah.
And Alabasta for me was like the first arc that really like set up what the rest of the story was going to be. So.
I agree with that, actually. I'd put it as my number 2. It was pretty close for number 1, I would say. It really, like you said, it's like where you really realize, oh, this is going places.
Yeah, like this is something special. Like I believe the stuff with Nami and Arlong was before that, but like that was just like a tiny little glimpse. This was like the actual like, okay, this is One Piece.
This is what it can do.
Yeah.
Shazayna, what do you say?
Oh man, all of the arcs are so good. Like everyone that comes up is so good. Like it just
Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
But honestly, there's two that I'm going back and forth with. I have to agree with Mike that Marineford, where
something happens to Ace.
Where Ace is.
Yeah.
That one made me the most emotional watching. Like that one I still think of and just get overflown with emotions. But my other one was Ennie's Lobby, because that one with Robin, it just where Luffy asks Robin if she wants their help, like what he did with Nami, kind of. Yeah. And she finally is just like, I want to live. I want to be with you guys. Yeah. And it's just like, oh, God, this is...
Yeah.
It's so good.
So I was going to touch on this for my favorite moment, because that is my favorite moment in One Piece.
Should we just use that as a segue into favorite moments then? Because we could just talk about both. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's up there for me too.
And it's like, it's not even just that moment, but like it's the whole stuff with Usopp, how like despite the fact that he's still fighting with Usopp still like says to Robin, believe in Luffy. Yeah. The fact that like he's able to put all that aside and tell Robin like, believe in him, he will fight for you.
Wait.
How when she finally says like, I want to live, Luffy says without hesitation, Sogeking, shoot down that flag, and he does.
Yeah. I was going to say, actually, doesn't Sogeking say that, not Usopp?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Usopp wasn't there.
yeah, you're right. Usopp wasn't there. What am I talking about?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, sorry. I had a massive brain fart there.
Yeah. But yeah, there's so many good moments in Water 7.
Yeah.
And
he's Lobby.
And just like,
I kind of lump them together in my head.
Yeah, well, they kind of are like the same saga, right? It's just like two arcs within the saga. But regardless, and just like the whole introduction to Robin is like she has been told her entire life that she's like worthless, that she doesn't really belong anywhere.
Yeah, that she's a demon or whatever.
That she's a demon and that she deserves to die and all that. And finally, Luffy and the Straw Hats are the first people that accept her as like something
that make her want to live.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, yeah. I can feel Zayna getting all flushed up over here.
My tears like, forming just thinking about it.
that moment, that was one of the moments in One Piece where like I was like, okay, I need to see how they animated this, because the manga sold it really well, but I wanted to hear how the voice actor did it, how it was animated, what direction choices were made.
It's very good in both sub and dub too.
It's so absolutely. I heard the sub of it. I still haven't seen the dub, but I'll get to it at some point because I'm saving it. But like it's so good. The seiyuu behind Robin puts so much emotion behind that one line.
Mm-hmm.
I can go on forever, obviously, but it's such a good moment.
It really is, and honestly, it might be my number one moment, but I also knew it was going to be your number one moment, so I'm going to choose something different. But there's also other good stuff in there too in that arc.
Robin's also like up there for one of my favorite characters because of this moment. Sure. But yeah.
She has great moments in Alabasta too, right? So
yeah, and she was kind of a villain in that arc, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
because she completely switched over to being a Straw Hat.
Yeah, because when she realized, like, I could have a place to belong with these people, right?
And like, it's cool because when she first joined the Straw Hats, she wasn't really like one of them. She was just kind of traveling with them.
Yeah.
But this is like one of the first moments where like she genuinely became a Straw Hat.
Yeah, I'd say that was kind of the moment, because she actually, the reason she wasn't with them was because she actually left the Straw Hats, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because she didn't consider herself one of them until
this moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think there's also good stuff in there too, like Luffy going gear second, and I think a lot of the characters get like power-ups in that arc too. Like Nami gets her staff.
Frankie joined at the end of Water 7.
Yeah,
and
Frankie.
Also the Thousand Sunny being introduced.
Yeah. I think the going merry funeral was before that, right?
Yes.
That was in Water 7?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's up there for favorite moments for me too.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go into my favorite moment then. My favorite moment in One Piece, both the Going Merry and the I Want to Live are definitely like very high up there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my favorite moment is honestly Nami asking for help in Arlong Park when she says she's doing the same thing that Robin basically did, thinking like, oh, I don't need these guys, like a normal person would do, right? You just meet this strange stretchy boy and this stupid swordsman who doesn't really know where he's going.
This stupid girl-obsessed cook and this lying nothing.
Yeah, and you're like, there's no way that these guys, like, I'm just gonna take their money and go, whatever.
Yeah.
That's what that's what a normal person does, right?
Yeah.
But then when she realizes like, this guy will do anything for me. Like, he is the best friend you could ask for. And then she finally breaks down and just like asks for help. And then Luffy says, I got you, gives her his treasure, and then takes care of business. I don't know. I just, that, and then they do the awesome walk. I guess you wouldn't know this, because it's anime
I've seen
only.
it. Yeah, no, this is another one of the scenes where like I had to go and watch the anime for it.
Yeah. Believe it or not, that's anime only, which I found crazy actually a little bit. But
that's not in the manga?
That's not in the manga, them walking away.
Oh.
Yeah.
It just, Jay might know better actually, but I'm pretty sure they just put the hat on and she asks for help, he puts the hat on, and then they just go fight Arlong.
Yeah. And then it just cuts to Arlong Park kind of thing.
Yeah. But that's like one of like the quintessential One Piece moments in my mind is hat on, then they walk with that sweet theme playing. One Piece has such good music, by the way.
It does.
So
Yeah.
Me and Zayna will just like constantly around the house just be like bada bada bada.
Yeah.
Bada bada bada.
Click.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
My favorite moments, which have already been mentioned because there's so many good ones.
Yeah.
I mean, Nami asking for help, as well as I Want to Live, were both up there. I mean, there's so many good ones, but like top has to be Nothing Happened.
Oh, of course you'd say that as a Zoro stan.
That one, it's just, he literally took on so much damage to help his friend because his friend was going to die.
Oh,
he's like,
with the fight with Kuma.
Yeah, when Zoro takes on Luffy's pain.
Yeah.
He took on everything just so that his captain could live.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then...
Doesn't Kuma tell him too, like, this will probably kill you. Like, this is way more pain and suffering
like,
than a normal person could possibly endure.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Like,
and then he takes it. And then Sanji looks around because everybody else is fine. And Luffy's just like moving his rubber arms like, oh, that was nothing. And Sanji's like, where's Zoro? And he goes and he finds Zoro standing in just like an absolute pool of blood.
Yeah.
And he's like, what happened? And Zoro's like, nothing happened. And it was just like, oh my God.
Yeah. Because he's just like, I just did that for my best friend.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah. And Luffy doesn't even know.
Yeah, Luffy doesn't know about it.
Like, he doesn't know that happened. And, it's just, that made me really, really like Zoro.
It's crazy the amount of loyalty the Straw Hats have for Luffy. Like, and for good reason. Because he's there for them. And so, like, they all genuinely believe he's going to be king.
Yeah. That's one thing that's I think is underrated about One Piece is that he really like he earns their trust and friendship and they show it and it's believable. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this friendship genuinely feels real.
Yeah.
In most manga, you'd see them become friends because, like, oh, there needs to be a funny sidekick and a female girl that is in love with the protagonist. Mm-hmm. This isn't that at all.
No. I mean, it kind of is.
It kind of is, but like, because it's the shonen norm. But like, it's not superficial at all. It's all well written. They have such great chemistry. Like, just seeing them. There are panels where you just see them interacting on the boat, like, for no reason other than their relationship building.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And every time a character does something too, like, you could just be like, oh, that seems like something they would do. Because you know them so well. Like, they all seem like people.
One Piece has such great characters. And, like, their background, their development is just... It just makes sense. And it just makes you love every character.
Yeah.
And, like, it's crazy... It's such a genius idea that Oda makes you like the characters before you go back and learn about their backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you care about them learning about it. You want them to be free of their past troubles and just do what they want instead of what they're being told is for them.
Right. I think a good character that kind of sums us all up for me and like kind of fits into all three of these as like one of my favorite characters and has like some of my favorite moments, and he's in most of the arcs, is Mr. Bon Clay. he's so good. Yes, he is. Boy. There's like, if you just put that character in front of the average person, they'd be like, what have you shown me? What is
this atrocity?
Yeah.
And then you tell them, you're going to cry for that character.
You're going to love this
You're
character.
going to love that character. Also, they're a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That turns good. And it's like, it's just, yeah.
Yes.
There's so much good stuff there.
Something that like, it's funny, like every arc, every story is like, even the worst arcs in One Piece would be like the best arc in a regular shonen series.
Yeah.
You know, like they're just so tightly written, and like it never feels like any point in the story aside from like the literal filler in the anime was written for no reason. It feels like Oda always finds a way to tie every arc in. But
it's cool too because it like every arc is almost like its own anime in its own way. Like it's all a little self-contained. You could watch one of them on its own and be okay.
Yeah.
But there's also still like, while that's all happening, he works in this bigger picture stuff, and it just like all flows perfectly, and you're never like, it doesn't feel awkward or disjointed really.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
And they almost all have their own art style for it too. Like Thriller Bark, for example, was all horror themed, and they actually like add like a bit of a horror element. Like it's kind of like how Kingdom Hearts does that with Sora and
actually
Donald and Goofy getting their own style based off of the world they're in, and it's very weird how similar that is.
It kind of is actually, because they go to different. They basically treat each island as a different world too.
Yeah,
it's actually kind of a neat comparison.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things too is all like the different outfits per arc. I don't know. I just think it's cool that he gets to change them up so much.
And then like Luffy sometimes gets like different powers depending on where he is. Like Thriller Bark again, he gets like that undead ability or something like that.
Yeah.
There was like Afro Luffy where he's just like wearing an afro and boxing gloves.
Worst arc.
I forgot about that.
Long Ring Island or whatever. Worst arc. I choose to forget that already exists.
Was that the one with Foxy or whatever?
Foxy. Yeah. Foxy Pirates.
Yeah. There's and like everywhere is so different. Like Amazon Lily's like this whole island of like just women. Yeah. And then Hancock, who like is this like self-centered narcissistic queen kind of thing, who like has so many quirks. Like she stares so far down her nose she's looking up.
Yeah,
but
she
like
looks down so far at people that she ends up looking up. Yeah, but just loves Luffy.
And then like she has like this tragic backstory of being a former slave. Like the world building of One Piece is so crazy.
Yeah, it really is. Same like Robin's backstory is one of my favorite things too. Like with how she was basically like the reason her entire island. It's really good.
Every character has like an insane backstory, and it just makes you love each character even more.
Yeah. And I think that the best stories are stories where the main character doesn't even need to be there and the story's still good.
Yeah.
You know, like...
It's true. It really is.
Yeah.
And One Piece really does that a lot.
One Piece does that so well. Like, after every arc with the Straw Hats, it always goes to, like, somewhere else and shows, like, what's going on in the rest of the world after the Straw Hats did their thing.
Yeah.
And those arcs are still really good.
Yeah. What do you say? I think... Does anyone have any final thoughts on One Piece?
Watch it. It's good.
That was a direct shot towards Cole. Watch it. It's good.
Cole, I know you're listening to this because you better be. You're on the podcast. I don't understand why you're not into One Piece. It's so good.
It's so good. It's so good.
So good.
It's
Just
so
watch
good.
the summary movies. You can watch. You can watch through One Piece super quick. Or
you know, it'd actually be really funny.
Online.
You know what actually be a really funny thing to do? Let's
if
review.
We make Cole review a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have the power.
We do have the power.
That would be pretty funny, actually.
That would be funny.
Let's put that in our back pocket for now, I think.
Let us know in the comments below or wherever if you would like us to review a One Piece movie.
If so, Which one?
You can let us know on Anipro Pod, on our Twitter, at ANIPROPOD, or on our Instagram.
Sorry, I don't know how. I forgot how I was supposed to be hosting this thing. Yes, we are available on Twitter at AniProPod and Instagram. We're also on TikTok. We're also on Discord. We're on all those things, as I've mentioned too many times on this episode, I feel like. Jay, where can they find your personal Twitter account?
You can find me at JGaredian, JayGaredian, and Mike, where can they find you?
You can find me at Gritty Gundam, GrittyGundam. And Cole is at Anipro Cole, ANIPROCOLE. He's not on this episode, but he's on every other one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you can find me in the Discord.
Yeah, come talk to her. She's Shazayna in the Discord. Come talk to her. She'll probably steal somebody from Mudai from you.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's still holding
Villain.
Comey hostage from me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am a villain.
She actually has the role. We should just make like a role for her that's just like podcast
Discord
villain. Yeah, the Discord villain.
Well, she is a guest, so she does get the guest role now.
She does get the guest role. I wonder if we could make it specifically villain-centric somehow.
Ooh, I'm interested.
Yeah. All our links, though, if you want to find us on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, all that stuff, you want to listen on Apple Podcasts or all that, you can find it on our linkter.e, aka Linktree. So that's also AniProPod. So linkter.ee/ANIPROPOD. Follow us anywhere we are available. And I'm falling apart here. I don't know how to host a podcast. Next time we might be reviewing Edgerunners. We haven't run it by Cole, but me and Jay, I think, made an executive decision. So Cyberpunk Edgerunners probably next, unless Cole tells us negative, which is also a likely option.
That is very likely. But until next week, as we say every week, bye-bye.
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 Bye bye.